Hey everyone, welcome to the postgame edition, Chargers Chiefs Bolt Crew podcast. Appreciate you joining us right after the game. It's always a little frustrating after a win. I had my cigars ready to go, and then I was like, what am I doing? Cigars are for winners. That's why I smoked 3 of them after the Alabama-Georgia game yesterday, just for your information. Don't know if but I was ready to go, had the lighter out, was ready to go with the ashtray. Damn it, we don't get a win. 17-10, Chargers lose to the Chiefs. And guys, it was one of those where we said before the game, we did not expect the Chargers to win. None of us actually picked the Chargers to win. But at the same time, when you're up 10-0 and you're going, hell, maybe there is a game plan. Maybe this is meant to be. Maybe this is the day the Chiefs overlook the Chargers and the Chargers pull it together because it's Jim Harbaugh's team and things are a little bit different. And then all of a sudden we get outscored 17-0, unanswered points, unanswered runs, and the disappointment factor kicks in. I don't know how the Chargers are able to do it, but it's amazing that they're able to play with your emotions year after year, your entire effing life. And it feels like you have a chance. And I'm sitting here right now, and before I let you guys talk, honestly, I feel like F those guys. And I mean, F the Chargers and F the Chiefs and F the referees. Hey, and tip of the hat to the Kansas City Chiefs, who amazingly in the fourth quarter never seem to commit a penalty, but the team they're playing against always seems to commit a penalty that ends up hurting the team the Chiefs are playing. Always. I mean, it is ridiculous. It's one of those where I hate when people blame officiating. But, man, when it is one team in the Chiefs, I cannot stand those guys. I'm going to say it right now on this show. So many teams that people say they hate the Cowboys, they hate the Raiders, they hate the Steelers, whatever. I think to the day I fall into the ground, it will be the Kansas City Chiefs, and it will be Patrick Mahomes, and it will be Patrick Mahomes' wife. Everyone that causes me angst. For the rest of my life, I will always think, I hate the Kansas City Chiefs, and I hate the Hunt family and their stupid Instagrams. I had nothing to say without swearing. I know I'm not supposed to swear for the first 10 minutes on this damn show, but God dang it, what a irritating 3 hours that completely under my skin.
Yeah, the question is, would you rather get blown out or would you rather lose the way you lost today? And I think I'd rather get blown out than lose to the Chiefs like this every freaking time right at the end. It drives me crazy. We beat them in time of possession. They committed 2 turnovers. We committed 0, and we lose the game. We start out 10-0. J.K. Dobbins drops that ball at the end. And right when that happened, I was like, this game is over. Right when he dropped that ball, I'm like, I've seen this 100 times with the Chiefs. I've seen this 100 times with the Chargers. We are going to shoot ourselves in the foot. All the penalties were stacking up. You saw what direction it was going in, Mario. And when the Chargers ultimately lose the game the way they did, you just say, hey, we've been here before.
9 freaking penalties. And does no one in Los Angeles know the snap count? Just not one of those big mother effers up front not know the snap count. That is the craziest thing of all time to me. You're in the NFL, and you can't understand when you're supposed to move. That's a sign of bad coaching. That's a sign of not everyone's on the same page. That's a sign of immaturity. It's a sign of we're not a championship team. We're just here to play the game. It was the most frustrating part. Every time they took a step forward, they took 3 steps back. This did not look like the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh. This looked like the Chargers with Brandon Staley. And the offense, if you're Greg Roman, if you're Justin Herbert, if you're J.K. Dobbins, if you're Quinn Johnston, if you're Joshua Palmer, anyone on the offensive side, you should go to the other side of the locker room where all defensive players are, and you should apologize. Because they held Mahomes for 3 straight quarters to 10 points, and you still could not win the game. They put you in opportunities to score and to take advantage, and you did not. You let down the team today. Jesse Minter, you should have a written apology by everyone on the offensive staff. They screwed you over today big time.
Nice. You're right. You're right. The defensive game plan was great. It really was. And is Joshua Palmer on this team? I completely have forgotten if he's on this team. As so many of you have told me that he's a number 1. And we're too tough on him. He had one good game his entire career. It was against Atlanta a few years ago in Atlanta. That was it. There's nothing Joshua Palmer ever did that I go, man, they really should think about retiring that number 5. When's that Ring of Honor happening for him? I'm sorry, man. You got to step up. This is your opportunity. All the guys that were in front of you that you're telling your family, man, I could be a star in this league if it wasn't for the team favoring Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Okay, you're that guy. You aren't that guy. And guess what? There aren't many receivers on this team that I'm excited about right now. I'm sorry. QJ, man, right when we tip our hat to QJ and go, look at this guy mature, he had a terrible game today. And it's funny that he has terrible games when Tony Romo's the one that's the broadcaster, because Tony Romo, you can tell, can't stand him. And there was that play. You understand? Remember the one where it looked like it should have been a pick six, where Herbert just threw it right to the Chiefs. Dude, when you look at the defense, Herbert called that correctly. Basically, the only thing that was there was a quick slant in, but he went around the corner. Thought he was. What are you reading? The wide receiver has to understand what's happening here. At the same time, Herbert doesn't lose his S. Harbaugh doesn't do it. Maybe in the locker room after the game they do. What's too damn late? Like, I think a lot of people want to feel that the Chargers feel the way we feel. And it is frustrating. When you know they screw up or a guy doesn't line up the right way or a guy's offsides, I mean, damn, man, there's something to be said with the guy get in someone's ass and say, get your ass together. Enough. The penalties were ridiculous high school, junior high stuff. They weren't NFL stuff. That's not professional football. When guys can't line up, I mean, count how many guys are on the line. That is the dumbest penalty, by the way, in the league. Not for the league, but for your team. To understand you don't know when to be on the line. They have all these guys back. Like, what the hell? And I tell you what, I think I put it on the quarterback when I see that done. How do you not count yourself and going, dude, something's wrong? Scoot up. Get up on the line. It is bizarre to me that this is Charger football and this is what they do. I just don't understand that this is what this team does. There's a movie I remember came out, I think it was on HBO one time. I'm flipping the channels, and it was called Every Day of My Effing Life, but they say the F word, okay? And I was like, well, okay, now I got to watch this. What's this about? And then they play the 911 call, and it's basically the lady says, I killed my husband. You killed her husband? Why? Because he hit me every day of my effing life. And I was like, this Charger team has hurt me every Sunday of my effing life, and I'm back for it again. And that's what drives me nuts is that I keep sitting there, and I'll be here, guess what? In 2 weeks. After the bye week, I'll be doing the same damn thing. Probably having another stroke right here in front of all of you. But I fall for it. I got bad news for Mario and Josh right now. They're much younger than me. Guess what? Good luck. It's a crappy life. You guys are stuck. You're in the vacuum. You're in the goddamn vacuum. This is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm so curious
right now across the room.
I think you're having a stroke right now.
I am.
I have a question for the people watching right now, because this is what I'm wondering during the game. Which part of today's game drives you the craziest? I'm going to list a few. Okay. You guys let me know which one just drives you the craziest. The unsolicited penalties in the offensive line, Trey Pipkins not knowing where to line up, running right at Chris Jones, which is going to work 0% of the time. That is never going to work. Defensive players running at Patrick Mahomes and going for his punk ass fake. Like, that is not a real fake. Why are you jumping, Troy Dye? He's not throwing the ball. Go for his body. Like, have you never played youth football? Dude, just take out Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to knock down his pass, even if you did jump and he threw it. You're still not going to knock it down. You know why? He's Patrick Mahomes. Those things don't happen. Why the hell are we doing Justin Herbert on RPOs? Do you hear what Tony Romo said? There is zero threat he's going to run the ball. Everybody knows he cannot run. So why are we doing an RPO with Justin Herbert? It makes zero sense. J.K. Dobbins dropping that pass. Quentin Johnson did have a nice catch later on, the one for the first down. But Quentin Johnson is the ultimate one step forward, one step back, one of those guys. The receivers did not get open for Justin Herbert. Ladd McConkey is the clear-cut number one for me. The touchdown in the back of the end zone was awesome. He had the long catch and run in the second half.
Yep.
Dude, there are so many things today, Mario, where you want to scratch your head or punch a wall, whatever it is, and say, what the hell are we doing?
There's so many things. I'm trying to make sure I get them all down and get them all out today. Like, that was my biggest thing after this game, is like, I have so many things I'm frustrated about. I got to make sure I get them all out. And the one thing I want to bring up is something that you mentioned with Quentin Johnson today. Is there something in Justin Herbert's contract that says you have to force the ball to Quentin Johnson? Because there's on 2 different occasions where you just force the ball to him. Like, it was one-on-one coverage. Quentin Johnson goes for a slant. He doesn't beat his man at all. The corner literally, like, he might as well just told him, hey, I'm running a slant. Just stand right here, because that's what the corner did. And then Herbert still forces the throw. One should have been a pick 6 if the corner stays upright. That's going the other way, and that's a touchdown for the Chiefs. And then the other one was an incompletion. Well, almost actually was tipped up, and that one could have been intercepted as well. It didn't make any sense. Like, I was like, why are we forcing this to Quentin when it's just not open? And, like, why are we trying so hard to make him a number 1 receiver? Like, Dave, that's the thing I don't get, is why are we making this try to happen so hard when we can just go, hey, right now, Lad's having a game. Hey, Joshua Palmer has a history of having a damn game. Let's actually make sure he doesn't, gets the ball sooner than the third quarter. That's insane to me. Like I felt like that was just so forced today, and it really hurt the Chargers in that. And after we go, let's get back to the 4th and 1 inside the 5, because that was one of the most insane play calls I think of Greg Roman's history. That made me think that he'd never graduated high school or didn't even get past middle school.
So, we always talk about the weapons all the time. And unfortunately, there just aren't a lot of weapons on this Charger team for Justin Herbert to work with. Ladd McConkey, look, we're 4 games in. It's obviously he's the best receiver they have. He's the most exciting receiver they have. I think also the one Justin Herbert should have the most faith in. He was targeted 7 times, 5 receptions, 67 yards today, touchdown. As you guys mentioned, the touchdown was awesome. Quentin Johnson targeted 5 times, 1 reception for 9 yards. Holy cow. I mean, you got a paycheck out of that. And then you look at Josh Palmer, 3 receptions, 36 yards. That's not NFL offensive football. These are all guys that are supposed to be getting playing time. Ladd McConkey needs to be a bigger part of the offense, man, after the bye week. I'm sorry. You sit there and you look at it and you go, this guy gets things done. We mentioned it before. He looks like somebody that would have played with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady would have been able to use him more. I think the Chargers need to do a better job. If they want to sit there and go back to having a successful running game, somehow you got to figure out a way to get Ladd McConkey more involved in what they're doing. When he gets the ball and he's in the game, you realize this guy's an athlete. He understands the defense, understands where to go to get open. Tight ends are ridiculous, right? Have to be the worst tight end group in the entire NFL. Travis Kelce, by the way, first time I've seen him play, as far as watching him every single play, he does look a little bit old. He does look a little bit out of shape. Like it looks like the wall is coming for Travis Kelce, that he doesn't look like the same weapon. And I think Patrick Mahomes knows it. By the way, speaking of the Chiefs that I can't stand, it drives me crazy every time I see Kareem Hunt do anything. And it's one thing for the Browns to have no spine and go ahead and sign him, but the Chiefs to kick him off the team. And then if you want to look it up, just type in what did Kareem Hunt do to get arrested. It's brutal. And for the Chiefs to go, that's the guy we can put back in the uniform after you guys made your stand. The Chiefs have proven nothing else matters. And that's fine. If you're going to be that organization, the Raiders have proven that in the past. If you're going to be that organization, you go, you know what these guys do off the field is important to us is one thing to say. But if you're one of those that say, hey, it's only about the scoreboard, your fan base will still be there. But to say that guy's gone because he's a dirtbag, and then to have multiple dirtbags since him and then bring him back, what are you? Don't sit there and say you're above board and you're the cream of the crop of this league as far as representation of your logo. But the Chiefs are basically a bunch of hypocrites. And so every time Kareem Hunt does anything, I'm like, oh, this is the guy they brought back because basically all their morals and values. And by the way, the Hunt family always claims to be that super religious family, which wears me out. I can't stand the Hunt family.
No, I don't think anybody besides Chiefs fans like the Hunt family. To go back to the Chargers, I just want to stick with the offense because I do think the defense is playoff level, Mario. I couldn't say enough nice things about Jesse Minter. There's a few miscues. I wouldn't blame Jesse Minter exactly. I think a lot of them, some dumb decisions by the defense, like Troy Dye jumping for the crazy pump fake that was the worst pump fake of all time. Like, what are you doing? Stuff like that's not Jesse Minter's fault. I think the defense is fine. The offense drives me crazy, Mario. The penalties were insane. Pre-snap penalties, jumping too early, not knowing where to line up, things of that nature. The tight ends, people wanted to get on us about the tight ends. They are below average. You could slice it however you want. You can look at the tight ends in any way you want. They're below average. Quarterbacks, people want to say quarterbacks make receivers here in the comments. Dude, if you're not getting open, there's nowhere to throw the ball. I understand Quentin Johnson was open in the end zone at the end of the game. Justin Herbert should have thrown it to him. Most of the time, though, he's not getting open. Josh Palmer is not getting open. You listen to Tony Romo on the broadcast. There's nowhere for Justin Herbert to throw the ball. And when Justin Herbert does crazy things like fit it into J.K. Dobbins along the sideline, you got to reel it in. You got to give him a chance. There's guys on this team, Mario, that don't belong in the NFL. There's guys on the offensive line that don't belong in the NFL. There's guys in our tight end group that don't belong in the NFL. And we desperately need a receiver to help out Justin Herbert. I'm watching the Browns and the Raiders. You know who's suffering is Amari Cooper. I would do anything for a guy like Amari Cooper or Jerry Jeudy or some receiver that's really not getting as much love as they deserve to be on this Chargers team because Justin Herbert is able to feed them the ball, and the quarterback that they have now can't do it. The Chargers desperately need a pass-catching threat now. And DJ Chark is on IR. That's why DJ Chark isn't playing. This is week 4. You have to sit out 4 games. He's coming back to practice next week. Hopefully he can make a difference. But DJ Chark is no Amari Cooper.
He's not. He's not even close to being Amari Cooper. And look, this was something the Chargers ignored in the offseason, and it's come to light during the regular season. We all knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was an issue. Everyone knew. The front office knew it too, and yet they didn't do anything about it. Now we suffer from it. And, you made a good point. You can only do so much of your quarterback. Justin Herbert on that touchdown pass, Lad McConkey, he threw him open. Lad was not open. He was covered. Herbert throws him open. We score. That's an amazing play. You can't do that every time. The J.K. Dobbins throw, you mentioned it. That's a throw that maybe 4 quarterbacks can make in the NFL. J.K. Dobbins just doesn't make that play. He can't do it. He's also not a passing running back. That's just not his play type. We fall short in that category. The situation when Quinn was open in the end zone, I just don't think Herbert could have set his feet time enough to make that throw. There's a safety on the other side. It would have been like a zip of a ball. I just don't think it was there. Joshua Palmer, he missed Palmer. Why he threw it to Quinn and said, let me restart that. Jesus Christ on a cross. He had Palmer open and he had Quinn Johnson to his left, and he throws it to Quinn instead of Palmer. If he throws it to Palmer, that's 6. Like, what are you doing? Like, again, why are we forcing it there? I didn't think Herbert, to be honest with you guys, I know, like, we need a receiver, and we desperately need it if we want to be a serious football team. We're just not going to be if we don't have one. I don't think Herbert played a good game, Dave, until the third quarter. Like, I really don't. I was not impressed with him at all. I thought he played I just was like, this is not a top 5 QB right now. This is just a QB. Third quarter, he turned it on and started to play better. But to me, that was a big frustration.
I think he had PTSD from the Steelers game. I mean, do you have faith in the guys that are going to protect you? I mean, it's bleeding all over the place. Whether it's the side, it's right in front. I mean, there's so many guys in front of you that probably don't belong in front of you, protecting you, right? That I'm going to get hit. And he took a lot of hits. He didn't look good. He didn't look comfortable. I don't want to make excuses for Justin Herbert. At the same time, I think Justin Herbert's a good enough quarterback where he did with what he had. I mean, he just doesn't have the space. He doesn't have the space from the receivers and tight ends to get anything out of it. When Matlock jumped off sides, and he moved before the snap, it was so frustrating because you're like, everyone's sitting there talking about this guy. Tony Romo's talking about him, this guy's a special guy, and they profile him, and then there's a big penalty. Then they're running the goddamn TV commercial for the TV show Matlock. You're like, what the hell just happened?
He could do that every CBS game. Yeah. He's not on the show Matlock. Dude, stop making the same joke. It's a bad joke anyway.
Yeah,
he's not funny.
Kathy Bates. Yeah.
Also, that show probably sucks, so who cares? Nobody's going to tune in.
It's funny. My buddy and I always have this game. We always say to each other, how far could you drive with this guy in the car with you? Like, could you drive cross country with Tony Romo? I couldn't drive from San Diego to LA with Tony Romo. You drive me a little nuts. He's a little dorky. Jim Nance is driving me a little crazy too. And I understand when your team doesn't play well, like you even hate the announcers. That's where I was today. I was so tired of both those guys today. I just couldn't take it anymore. But in all seriousness, when you look at the roster, and I'm looking at some of the comments here on the side, dude, they got to do something. Look, Devontae Adams looks like he's getting traded. You aren't going to get a chance to get Devontae Adams. All you guys on the side saying Devontae Adams is going, let's pick him. They aren't going to trade inside your division. Telesco's not trading him to the team he just left. That's not happening. You aren't getting him. When Josh mentions guys from Cleveland, that's your best chance to get guys that are far away that really don't have a chance of winning the Super Bowl. But man, they got to do something. You are not going to go as far as you want to go with what they have right now. You have to find a pass catch and tight end, like a real one. You have to find a wide receiver. You got to get those two pieces somewhere. I don't know what it's going to cost you in the draft and everything else, but there's something to be said for making those moves. By the way, while we're just out there, just because we have the next show we do will be on Tuesday, and people are saying the trade could happen before Tuesday. You're hearing that the Raiders are ready to ship both Max Crosby and Devontae Adams out. Chargers aren't going to get either one, so you guys can all stay away from all that stuff. But the team that Chargers shared the stadium with and the Rams, the rumor is they're getting one of those guys.
Okay.
I mean,
go ahead.
No, well, my point is, here's my point though with the Rams. Remember the Rams forever never had a first round pick, dude. Sometimes you got to go for it. Sometimes you just got to go for it, and you add a player to your team, whether it's a Jalen Ramsey or a guy that you go, wow, that's a major trade, and you forfeit a first round pick because you say, you know what, the time is now. And what Jesse Minter did today, Mario, I think you're the one that pointed out the defense, and they need to write him a letter. That's one of those where you literally walk in the locker room, you grab your car keys and go, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. You just walk like I have nothing to say. My guys did their job. My guys did good enough to win the game. You guys on the other side couldn't do anything. I'll see you before I say something that I'm going to regret.
Jesse Minter, I'm gonna keep saying it on this show. Jesse Minter is fantastic. I love everything about Jesse Minter. He's completely turned around a horse crap Brandon Staley defense and made it one of the better units in the NFL. Jesse Minter deserves his flowers. Jim Harbaugh, he does a few things that I don't understand. Why would you challenge the catch by Justin Watson when it was a clear catch? I think the only thing I could think of was he was trying to give the defense a breather because the offense was not moving the ball and the defense was on the field constantly. That was dumb. He obviously caught the ball. Why did he not challenge the Josh Palmer play? He didn't get touched. It looked like it was a first down. That was a huge difference in the game. We obviously go for it on fourth and 1, and we don't get it. Greg Roman, your whole thing is to run the ball, but in a situation when you absolutely need it on the goal line to end the game, you abandon the run and you go in a shotgun formation. I don't understand that move at all because we already know the offense is not working with guys getting open. So why would you put Justin Herbert in a shotgun situation near the goal line? If you want to see Nick Saban ever have a stroke for when he was coaching Alabama, is if Alabama goes in a shotgun formation on a goal line situation. Why would you snap the ball back in that situation? Like Justin Herbert had no help. I don't think Justin Herbert had his best game. I agree with Mario. I just think the whole offense, the offense as a whole was bad. Receivers could have been better. Justin Herbert could have been better. And for people saying that Justin Herbert was missing guys, he was. But, dude, if you're getting crushed, especially the interior line is coming up the middle and just knocking your face off, dude, sometimes you just miss people because you're afraid you're going to get hurt. And we already know he is hurt. So we need Justin Herbert to step it up. We need the offense to step it up as a whole. Everybody needs to be better. I think Harbaugh needs to be better. The defense is fine. But the offense needs to help them out, man. Like, we have no chance at ever winning in the playoffs or even making the playoffs if the offense has these quarters where we have, like, 0 yards. This is, like, the third time we've had a quarter we did 0 in the entire quarter. It makes no sense.
Second quarter, it was absolutely brutal. I think it was 2 total yards that they got. That just can't happen. And I'm with you. I've gone insane over this, and I don't know why – every offensive coordinator, offensive play card in the NFL tries to get so cute on 4th and 1 inside the 5. Don't get cute. Get ugly. Line it up. And it's incredibly even more frustrating because all we heard this past offseason, all we saw that in the draft, and the whole notion was we're going to be a physical team. We're going to impose our will. We're going to be the bully every single game. We're causing the hits. We're not taking the hits. And what do we do on 4th and 1 against our division rival that we have not beaten in 6 straight games, that we desperately need to win, desperately need to beat to be relevant? We don't run the ball. I understand we have a lineman out, but are you freaking kidding me? We have the leading rusher in the NFL, and we're not going to use him there? 0 cents. 0 cents to me. Why? Like, why? And the other part that infuriates the crap out of me is we talked about this last show, and it was on the last drive of the game. You know the Chiefs are going to blitz. You know you're going to see some type of stint. And we were talking about this. If you're going to see that with how bad our O-line is, I do not want to see a running back next to Herbert on 3rd and 15. I want to see Matlock, or I want to see another version of an alignment. Just
100%.
add him. Yeah,
100%.
it's coming. It's coming. It's not like – you don't need to play action. We know it. You know you're going to pass it. Your only option is to pass it. And what happens? Our running back Haskins decides, hey, I'm not going to pick up anyone, actually. And then Chris Jones sacks Herbert, limps off the field again. We lose the ball game. It's just we were behind. We were 1 step behind the Chiefs, I think, after the first quarter when they turned over the ball and gave us opportunities. From there, Dave, I felt like Harbaugh was just behind the whole time.
Yeah. I've seen some of the comments. People are saying in the comments, 2 games in a row, they thought Harbaugh was outcoached. At the same time, do you guys think he was outcoached, or do you think the other teams have better rosters?
I think Harbaugh's part of the problem when it comes to the roster. Harbaugh helped pick the roster with Ortiz. I think an issue.
How much can you do in 1 year is what I'm asking you. How much, or do you say you can at least find a tight end? You can keep a Gerald Everett. You can find someone that helps you out.
We knew what the problem was. We knew we needed a receiver with Keenan out and Mike Williams out, or we knew we needed a tight end with Gerald Everett gone. Even with those guys, we still needed somebody. You know why? Because the Chargers won 5 games last year with better weapons than what Justin Herbert has now. Okay? It makes zero sense. I think an issue, nobody brings this up, is Justin Herbert was glorified by Jim Harbaugh, right, as the best quarterback in the NFL or one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, which we believe. But, dude, he can only do so much. Like, you need to give him somebody. Dude, Patrick Mahomes needs Travis Kelce. He needs somebody out there with him. Justin Herbert has nobody. And I agree with Mario makes a great point. Why the hell are you putting Haskins or another regular running back next to Justin Herbert to block? Put Scott Madlock's big ass back there or Disley or somebody else that's going to knock a head off. Like, Justin Herbert's hurt. He needs help with the protection. Get somebody back there that can actually block. You're not fooling anybody with Haskins next to Justin Herbert. He is not going to get the ball, and he's not going to block anybody. Pointless.
And to go back to your question too, Dave, I think Harbaugh just got out-coached. Like, plainly outcoached. That's what I think it was. They had every opportunity to win this game, and they didn't. They had, once again, we talked about it. We had 9 penalties. He challenges a play that's clearly not going to go our way. We lose the timeout. Then we call another timeout in the fourth quarter. That's pretty early on, and we're in 4-down territory. And you're like, why'd you burn that timeout? Yes, it's, crucial time for it, but then now we're down to 1. And then that comes later on in the game when we can't freaking move the football. We go on a 3 and out, and then we have to call timeouts to help save us. But we can't do it. We have 1, and we lean on the 2-minute warning. Well, that doesn't help us out. Oh, by the way, we're also doing this against one of the best offensive minds in football, Andy Reid, and then in front of him is Patrick Mahomes. That's just not like that's just poor management. You don't have Ryan freaking Day over there that's going to fart down his leg as soon as the game gets close. No, you have Andy Reid. Like, it's time to recognize that, buddy. And he fell short today. And, that's fine. Like, honestly, guys, I thought this was going to happen is there's going to be games where he's going to get out-coached by some of the more veteran coaches in the league. But at the same time, it's frustrating because the Chiefs were given the Chargers chances to win, and the Chargers just gave it right back.
The Chiefs were given the Chargers chances to win, especially at the beginning of the game. Right? I mean, even the 3 points the Chargers got, we felt like we should have had a touchdown out of that one. Yes. They did. They gave them opportunities. I mean, they're turning the ball over. They didn't look sharp. One of your best players goes down, and he could be out for a while. Weird that it was Mahomes that took out Rice. But by the way, speaking of our Rice, a lot of people always say, how come he's not in the game? Why don't we see him? It's time to give him an opportunity. Look, I'll say it right now. I haven't seen him practice one time. He stinks. All right. If he's not getting an opportunity to play on this team, he stinks. He's basically on the roster because of his last name and who he's related to. He's not ready for the NFL. If Jim Harbaugh thought he could help, trust me, Jerry Rice's kid would be on the field playing. That just he's not able to cut it.
When you look at the roster and you think you have guys that haven't proven their value whatsoever, what about Darius Davis? Like, what are you there for? Are you there to fair catch within the 5-yard line? Like, what the hell are you doing? You have one purpose on this team, and it's not to play offense. It's to return punts and kickoffs, and you've done neither for anything. Our special teams has been not as great as we expected, right? Cameron Dicker is fine. J.K. Scott has not been as good as he usually is. Darius Davis has not been as good as he usually is. I think that's another guy you got to look at. He's taking up a roster spot. He's a receiver technically, but if you're not going to do anything as a specialist, Mario, why are you even there?
Yeah, the Neal was a really bad one today. That was really bad, and that hurt us in that game because at one point when it's a low-scoring game, it becomes a field position game. When it becomes a field position game, punters, returners, that matters. And case in point is today. And then honestly, go to the 1 o'clock window. Look at the Bears game today with the Rams. That punter literally saved their ass so many times, pinning the Rams back inside their own 10-yard line. That was a huge part of the game. Chargers didn't have that today. You're giving Mahomes that good of a field advantage. What are you going to do? And I'll reiterate it again. They hurt the defense in so many different ways today. The defense literally held Patrick Mahomes to 17 points. That's insanity. If this happened 2 years ago, we win this game with that offense. But here we are. Wrong offense and wrong defense at the wrong times.
Wrong coordinator.
Yeah.
Greg Roman is the wrong coordinator. Sorry. Greg Roman is the absolute worst coordinator for Justin Herbert. I'm sorry. I'm over it. You can't run a college offense with Justin Herbert as your quarterback. The only way you can run the Greg Roman offense is if you have a Derrick Henry-like running back, which the Chargers do not, or a Lamar Jackson-like quarterback, which the Chargers do not. So if you don't have a running threat as a quarterback or really a running back that's going to take over a game like Derrick Henry, it's not going to work. The Greg Roman thing might be the thing that puts me in the grave. Like Greg Roman might be the reason I die this year.
On top of that, healthy O-line helps.
It does help.
You
It
know,
does help.
but that's the other thing. It's like we knew this was coming because our O-line's not healthy. We're playing a pretty dangerous front, and we're going to be forced to throw the football.
All right, so here we go. You talk about Darius Davis real quick. Is he there just a fair catch? I asked you guys a few weeks ago any interest in Hunter Renfrow, the former Raider, former Clemson wide receiver. Both you guys at the time said no. At this time, would you take Hunter Renfrow? Because right now Mike Mayock's reporting that Hunter Renfrow is going to sign with the Chiefs.
Of course he is. I would take anybody that can get open. If he can get open, he's more than welcome to come in. I'm about over with some of these receivers. Like, let's bring in some guys. Fehoko proven he can't do it in the real games. Josh Palmer's just a guy. Quentin Johnston, I'm not going to give up on him yet. Ladd McConkey's our number one. We need about 2 other guys. DJ Chark's coming back after the bye. Can he get open? Can anybody get open? How about a tight end? Who's out there? Is Darren Waller back? Is he off the bottle? Bring him back. We need Darren Waller back.
He's making a music video.
He's not coming back.
When he's not doing the music videos and whatever he's doing, bring Darren Waller back. Like, anybody can come back to catch a pass. Where's Antonio Gates? Anybody?
I mean, we've been preaching this, but if this isn't a clear tell that Ladd shouldn't get more touches, more targets, then I don't know what does, man. This was a clear thing that it's time for him to have a big role in this team.
All right. Well, they're 2-2, right? Heading into the bye week, they're 2-2. I mean, here's the deal. Worst case scenario, I think we said they would be 2-2, right? That was the worst case scenario, the prediction when we looked at the schedule. I mean, this is it. You thought you're going to sit there and breeze through your first 2 games, and they did absolutely that. But overall, when you look at this team and what they are, do you guys have a good feeling what their identity is, or do you expect things to change? Here's the sad part is after the bye week, they go on the road against the Broncos. All of a sudden, the Broncos aren't one of those teams that are a cakewalk team. They're now running through teams. I mean, they went on the road and beat the Jets. They went on the road and they took out the Buccaneers. All of a sudden, here are the Broncos hosting the Chargers on October 13th. How do you feel right now?
I feel fine, dude. I don't think the Broncos are that good. Bo Picks is not good. Like, the Jets are pretenders. They won 10-9 today. I understand the Chargers offense sucks, but the Broncos offense is worse. I'm not worried about the Broncos. I'm worried about the Chargers. Like, that's where I am with this Chargers team. The Chiefs try to hand it to you today. You said, no, I don't want this. We don't want to win. The Broncos are no good. The Raiders are no good. The Chargers are the team in the division that everybody's waiting on. What are you guys actually going to be? Are you guys just going to be the same Chargers forever, where you suck and you ruin these games for us fans? You don't take advantage of teams that are trying to hand you wins? I'm not worried about the Broncos. Do you care at all about the Broncos, Mario?
No, I'm with you. I'm more worried about, can we go into a game and not shoot ourselves in the foot? Like, no more penalties. The stats are going to get updated probably by tomorrow, but I really want to look at all the stats and go, are we the most penalized, like pre-snap penalized team? Because we have to be. We have to be in the top 10 because it's happened so much this year. I'm worried about that. I'm worried about getting healthy because, I think after this game, Dave, and I'll ask you this question, I was really asking myself, if this team's fully healthy, do we win this game? Like, would it be that big of a swing? We have Alt, we have Slater, Duran plays, Bosa plays.
Yes.
Do we win this game? Okay.
Yeah,
No.
we do.
No, I don't think
Really?
we do. I'll tell you why we. You know why I tell you we don't win this game? It's because that's what the Chargers have done. We always say this. If we would have done this, we would have done that. Honest to God, Mario, I might sound crazy to everybody. If we had Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt and Joey Bosa and Derwin James, I think we still lose because the Chargers haven't proven up to this point they will win games when it matters. Like, they haven't proven it once. And we've had Derwin James out there, and we've had Rashawn Slater out there and Joey Bosa, and we still lose. I mean, dude, Mario, if you're not going to win today, like, today was the most gimme win ever, and you still didn't win. Like, I don't know what else to say about this team. They have not proven. It's been a losing culture. Jim Harbaugh, I believe, is going to turn it around, but I really don't believe with a full team you win this game because Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose them and the Chargers don't win them.
Go ahead, Mario. I disagree with Josh. I'm curious. You said you gave the look like you're surprised. Like, here's my feeling on this. I'll go first. All right. So
Yeah, go.
Just to let you know. I say they win, Josh, because I think there's a different confidence factor in Justin Herbert when he's back there, knowing that he has 2 healthy tackles. I mean, If you look at this game and you didn't feel like you missed anybody that wasn't there and the outcome would have been the same if those guys are there, then those guys all become trade bait to me. If you didn't feel like those guys that weren't available, those are guys that you should think about seriously trading and start drafting for the future. But I thought they missed Derwin James. I thought they missed their tackles. You know what I think they missed? You know, I can tell you right now, they didn't miss Joey Bosa.
Yeah,
I
Tuli's
completely
awesome.
disagree. I completely disagree, actually. Completely disagree.
You think so? You think they
Yeah.
missed Joey? I thought actually they did a fantastic job without Joey.
Why do you
think
say that, Mario?
I agree. Like the defense was great. Like there's not much more you could have asked of the defense to do today. I completely agree with that. But I think with the tape that we have seen when Bosa and Mac are on the field at the mid-tier defense, it goes up another level. And I think we'd have seen that today. I think Mac would have had at least, I think he had a sack and a half, right? And a couple pressures. I think he would have had 2 sacks. I think we would have caused probably another turnover. I think Mahomes would not been able to step up in the pocket as well and make certain throws that he was able to make today. I think that would have changed a little bit with Bosa in there. So that's where I will disagree.
Tuli's reliable. He's going to be out there every game. I understand what you're saying about Joey Bosa. The Chargers defense to me is a non-issue. Derwin James, I love Derwin James. Chargers have proven that they can play great defense without Derwin James. With that being said, I obviously want Derwin James on the field. The issue to me wasn't as much as the tackles as it was the interior offensive line, and neither Rashawn Slater or Joe Alt play interior offensive line. Okay, yeah. The big issue is the interior offensive line cannot block, Justin Herbert cannot run, and the receivers and tight ends cannot get open. And none of the guys you name play any of those positions. Those are the main issues right there. And the Chargers have a losing culture. I'm going to keep saying that. We've had great players, right, for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Justin Herbert. We still have not beaten the Chiefs, and we still have not taken care of the teams within our division consistently. Beat up on the Broncos. We'll take a step in the right direction. But until you take down the top dog, and listening to Jim Nantz talk about Ric Flair makes me want to do things to myself that are not good. Okay? Like, stop. I just focus on the team. The team needs to beat the teams within the division, the Broncos, the Raiders, and then take down the Chiefs. You got to split with the Chiefs, right? The next one's going to be an Arrowhead, obviously much tougher test. Split with the Chiefs, take care of the teams within your division, and you're still a playoff team, Mario.
11 straight games they have lost at home against Kansas City. 11. Also, it's pretty. Yeah, I think great. And I will say this too about this game, and I wrote this down. Felt like a home game, which I thought like kind of important.
Felt like a home game for who?
Chargers.
Really?
That's what I mean. I thought it did. It did for me, which is big because let's be honest, they get crap on for a lot. That happening. And the other thing is I really want to shout out our interior defensive line because I thought they played their asses off. That was a group
how good is Puna Ford? How good is Puna Ford?
Yes.
He's a dog. Love him.
They stepped up, man. They stepped up.
What, Dave?
All right. So
I'm
just saying.
I know what that face means.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, I didn't miss Bosa. Matter of fact, I thought Bud Dupree played a great game. What do you have? 2 tackles for loss and 2 sacks?
Bud played good too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, at what point do you just go, hey, if we're really talking about changing the culture around here, here's a guy that isn't part of the future of our culture. That's the way I kind of look at it. It's time. If if you aren't making phone calls to see what can we possibly get back for him, I don't know if they are or aren't. I think you're doing damage to yourself. That's what I was saying to you guys a while ago. Would you look at a receiver that you could possibly trade for that has something? That's why when 100%. Brandon Ayuk was upset with the Niners, that's why I was saying I'd pull that deal. If the Niners were willing to do it, I would have done it.
Have you seen Brandon Ayuk?
He does look terrible. He's a train wreck.
He came
but
in
at
with
the
the right
time, I would have done. Dude, I know he starts fighting with Kyle Shanahan over stupidest stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. But look, man, we know a lot of these wide receivers are temperamental. We know they're a mess. I mean, they're psychos, a lot of these guys. But you need those guys to win games. You need those guys. Not saying you need a personality, but you need the talent. We don't have.
Okay, so my question back to what you just said. Jim Harbaugh's big thing everywhere he's been, Stanford, Michigan, everywhere. 49ers is culture, right? The one thing he preaches more than anything is culture. And the Chargers definitely want to bring in more football guys, right? We've talked about this before. How in the hell does Joey Bosa fit under the Jim Harbaugh culture? To me, he's the one guy that sticks out like a needle in a haystack. Like, I don't understand why they brought back Joey Bosa and he's doing exactly what he's done before. And he was in the stands again today. I don't know how much that matters to some people, but to me, it makes me laugh. Why is he on the team? He does not fit in the Jim Harbaugh culture whatsoever.
How? Yeah, I want to know, because here's the deal. What did we say earlier in the week that Joey Bosa's talking about in 2 years he could be retired? And what do they always say in sports? If you're talking about retirement, you're already retired. If you're already thinking that way, you've already thrown it in. You are retiring. What the hell's the deal with Joey Bosa? I mean, seriously, what is his deal? Almost every week I could say that. What is your problem, man?
I can't think of a guy that hasn't lived up to the hype like him, a Charger. Can you think of a guy that got drafted so high like he did that just was always potential, and it was never production? Like, look at the guys that were drafted around him. Jalen Ramsey. Who else? That's crazy draft. I'm going to look it up. Go, Mario. What were you saying?
Larry
No,
Tunsil.
I was going to say, were you guys, anyone else annoyed too of the Kelsey's back? Kelsey's back.
Yeah, because I disagree. I thought he took a step back. I mean, today was his best game of the season, but I think he was much better last year than he did today. You know, like he did look slower to me, Mario.
That's what I mean. Is like did he have a good game today? He did have a good game, but like it wasn't a shut up. Oh my God, he did it. What a play! No, like we didn't see that. Like I was like, he played good. You know, for a tight end that's considered one of the best we've ever seen. Yeah, he had a good game. He did what was
7
expected.
receptions, 89 yards, no touchdowns.
Did what you expected. Your number one target. I hope so. You know, that's like congratulating Carl Anthony. I mean, not Carl Anthony Towns. Screw that guy. And Anthony Edwards. You had 28 points. Great game. Oh my God. Expected. So no one scored on the team. Of course he has 28. Just doesn't make sense. That just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, right now, everyone in our division has the same record outside of the Chiefs. I mean, it's crazy to think that the Raiders, Broncos, Chargers are all 2-2. As I said, the Chargers will have a bye week, and then they'll come back and face the Broncos in Denver, and we'll see where they're at. I mean, we'll see what this is all about. Right now, the Broncos have a tremendous amount of faith in what they're doing, but man, if the Chargers come out flat, one thing we always say about Andy Reid, right? Andy Reid off a bye week, man, you want to put your money on the Chiefs. Man, the Chargers, look, you got 2 weeks to prepare to get it together. Kind of curious to know what these guys do during the bye week outside of getting healthy and getting treatment. Kind of curious. It's an early bye week, and we say, man, this bye week couldn't come soon enough. Good God. It's week 5. Like, are we going to say that in 4 weeks from this bye week? Like, we need another bye week. I mean, we're going to be the only team in the NFL that's going to be asking for 3 bye weeks a year.
I think something to keep an eye on for all of us Charger fans is Henley. How bad is that injury at the end of the game?
Yeah.
And is Junior Colson ever going to play in an NFL game? Like, hurt feelings? Why did he miss this game? Do we have any linebackers that are going to be available for the entire season? Because we need Henley or Colson. Like, we need them both out there eventually. So hopefully Henley's okay after the bye.
I think Henley did come back in, which is good. But yeah, like how healthy is that really? Is he going to be ready in 2 weeks to play? The thing I'm getting really nervous about, guys, is Mac is very healthy right now, but he's also like a lot of miles on those tires. What happens when at one point he's going to miss a game? You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to happen. And it's just what games that can be against. So is that going to be against the Ravens? Is that going to be against the Bengals? Who's that going to be against?
Patrick Mahomes, when he took out Rashee Rice, he tore his ACL.
Yeah, well, guess what? Rashee Rice has done worse stuff to other people. All right, sorry.
That was a layup.
Yeah,
I was trying to craft my own thing in my head, but I couldn't think of anything. So I'm glad you took that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I never root for injuries, but he's a bad dude, man. So I don't care. I'm not going to miss 1 ounce of sleep tonight. Not a good guy.
One question for the people watching, because I want to see what you guys think in this situation. Are you happy with Joe Alt, the pick that the Chargers made, or would you rather have Malik Neighbors or Brock Bowers? And you guys can answer that question too. Where do you guys land on that one so far?
Go ahead.
I'm still on Alt. I'm going to stand by Alt. I'm going to stand by it. Because boy, did we miss him.
All right, I'm going to stand by Alt too, because I think he's one of the best right tackles in the NFL already. Malik Neighbors is dude, he's ridiculous. And Daniel Jones is not good. He is ridiculous. And I think Brock Bowers is a top 3 tight end already. But I'll take Joe Alt. I like Joe Alt. Malik Neighbors, though, wow. Like, dude, oh my God.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Look, all 3 of those guys are really good players. How's that? All 3 are really good. I think all 3 teams will say they wouldn't change it if they could, right? The Giants are extremely happy. The Raiders are happy. Brock Bowers only had 3 receptions, but God dang it, it's Minshew trying to give him the ball. He's really good. A lot of talk that Mayers wants out of Vegas. He doesn't want to be a Raider anymore because there's no point in having him, which didn't make any sense. I mean, the guy's stiff as can be. He's not going to be that tight end that people thought he was going to be. Either way, you know what? That would be a nice trade, by the way, for us. I would take that stiff over what we have. But at the same time, Alt's outstanding. God dang, Neighbors and those LSU wide receivers are insane. I say this all the time.
Do you see these plays he's making? Like
I'm watching.
They're crazy.
And I keep telling, I watched Jamar Chase from the Bengals today, for LSU guy, Justin Jefferson, LSU guy, ridiculous. But I'm telling you, the guy we said on the show weeks ago, man, you watch Alabama's freshman 17-year-old receiver. He looks like
Jamar Chase. Dude. I'm willing to tank for him. I'm willing to tank right now for him.
Dude, I'm with you. Like, this guy is better than anybody the Chargers have right now, but he's not coming out for 3 more years.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think going back to the question, I mean, we can sit there and do this all the time. It would not surprise me if all 3 of these guys are Hall of Famers one day. They're all really, really good, man. I'm very happy with all the other guys. Are really exciting.
I agree with you. Sorry, Mark. I think Joe Wall, Malik Neighbors, and Brock Bowers are all Pro Bowl guys for years to come. And we're going to look back at this 2024 draft, Mario, as one of the best in recent memory.
Yeah. This is like when you're going to prom, right? And you kind of have like 2 options you can go with the prom. And you think you went to, the better looking one. And then you go to the prom, and then you see the other one you could have taken. You're like, all right, I mean, she looks good. So does, my day looks good too. But, the black dress, it's doing a lot for me, That's like the situation.
Do you still talk to your prom date? You still talk to the girl you took to prom?
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Junior year, I took 2 different ones. I took one junior year, and I took one senior year.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like a menage a trois situation.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. No. I go, dude, this guy's big game in Indiana. Okay.
I did try to go to like multiple, and I had it, but like it was the one I had like a game. I'm not going to start this conversation. Let's move on. I'm just going to sound like a tool and like a.
We'll just wrap it up.
Let's wrap that one up.
Oh yeah, announcement. Sorry, announcement. Twitter Bolt Crew Pod. I'll follow everybody back. I'm trying to follow back every single person. Trying to get the Twitter page rolling. Bolt Crew Pod. And if you haven't liked this show already on YouTube, please like it and subscribe if you haven't done that either. Thank you.
All right, there's a super chat in there. I think that we.
Oh yeah, we got a couple.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. LS 499. Thank you for the entertainment until Sunday Night Football. The most views we've ever had on a show, I believe, is the Jaguars game, the post-game show, for obvious reasons. And we're really happy we can make you guys feel better because you like to see us suffer as well. So great. We all cry together. Tim, $5 says, Josh.
There's your T-shirt right there. Charger football. We all cry together.
That's a good T-shirt.
You should let them know what you said in our text, what Charger shirt you want to mock up.
I don't even remember what I even said.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on the show.
Actually, comment. Let's do this. Let's workshop a little. Think out loud. Comment if we did T-shirts, if you would buy one. How about that?
We should do Bolt Crew Pod shirts eventually.
Yeah.
Tim, $5 says Josh Allen is an elite quarterback. Justin Herbert has an elite arm, but is not an elite quarterback. I hate to say it. What do you guys think about that?
He's got a point.
You can't be elite with a losing record, right? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Josh Allen's an elite quarterback. Justin Herbert with a losing record, you can't be elite if you're always going to have a losing record.
And no playoff wins. That's not everything, but that's something.
You're absolutely right, man. It all comes down to wins and losses. I mean, everything else. It's funny. Growing up as a kid, the three best quarterbacks I remember watching when I first fell in love with football were Terry
Johnny
Bradshaw,
Unitas. Oh, my
Roger
bad.
Staubach. Unitas was before me.
Sid Luckman,
So is Joe Namath.
Bark Starbuck, or whatever the hell his name is. Bark Star.
Roll Tide.
No, Bart Starr was before my time. He's a Roll Tide guy, by the way, too. So is Joe Namath. But the best ones when I was growing up were Roger Staubach, Cowboys, Terry Bradshaw, Steelers, because you know what? They were in the Super Bowl there all the time. But Archie Manning was really good, but he was on a horrible team, dude, over and over. Like for 14 years, he was terrible. Every team he went to, I think he was on the Saints, then he went to like the Oilers for a year, then the Vikings for a year. It just got the crap beaten out of him. That's why he didn't want Eli coming to the Chargers. He goes, this guy's about to have the same career that I had. There's no way he's going to that organization. That being said, as good as Archie was, and he was in the Pro Bowl and all this crap, you'd see him in Hawaii in that game, dude. You never put him in the same category as the elite guys because he didn't have a winning record. And unfortunately, Justin Herbert could be that guy too. I mean, you got to start winning. You got to have more wins than losses. You got to make deep playoff runs before anybody else considers you what we consider him, I should say. The Charger fans love him. Look, I love him. Both you guys love him. But man, if you're a Jets fan or a Bills fan, you're goofing on that guy from 3,000 miles away and go, enough. Stop talking about Justin Herbert. He's never done anything. His teams have never done anything.
Yeah, it sucks, man, because we know how good Justin Herbert really is. Mike G, $5 says, finally, you guys are holding Harbaugh accountable. This team was unprepared and soft 2 weeks straight. KC was trying to give us the game, shaking my head. I think injuries had a big part to do with today's game, but I do agree with you in some, capacity. I think Jim Harbaugh kind of dropped the ball, challenging the play by Justin Watson and then not challenging the ball on the goal line by Josh Palmer, and then other little things throughout the game.
Look, we said this over the summer. Like, he's been in college for a long time. He's coming back to the NFL. It's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. And he just faced back-to-back coaches with Super Bowl rings, Dave. It's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, a little bit. And this is year one of what we're building.
Look, the reason I wasn't holding him accountable because I didn't think it was fair to him to rip him before the season even started. We're 4 games in. I mean, we're on game 4. Here we are. We're negative about him. But look, his history is that the guy wins 70% of his games in the NFL. Nobody does that, right? I mean, he's a winning coach. He's won everywhere he's been. So it's not fair to take shots at him before he gets a chance to show what he can do. So, here we are. We're frustrated. And I tell you what, my frustration level isn't as much at Jim right now as it is as Jim and Ortiz because, dude, we knew this roster was crazy. I mean, we all said it. Like, we want to believe in the roster, but it didn't make any sense. Gus Edwards looks terrible, by the way. Like, if you released him, I don't think it would even matter to any of us. But he's not what he was even on the Ravens. And so there's a lot of guys on this roster that the roster doesn't make sense. Like, if we were the ones who were asked to be the GMs or any of you that are listening to the show, you would not have put together this roster. It makes you nervous. It doesn't seem like NFL football.
That's why I think Jesse Minter deserves so much credit because I thought that defense had a lot of holes in it to start the year, and he's been awesome. Ryan Culpepper, $5. Anybody notice that Bosa was sitting in the stands instead of leading from the sideline in his home stadium? There's your softball, Dave. We should Venmo request Joey Bosa for your blood pressure medicine every month because he's gonna put you in the grave eventually.
Dude, he is. It's I have nothing to say. I mean, I can lose my mind right now. I'll do it, I'm sure, later on in the season. There's nothing Joey does that surprises me. Joey Bosa is a human being of disappointment for me. That's what he is. And it just every week it's something else. It's just amazing. And again, I don't understand why that behavior is acceptable to the Chargers. Wasn't acceptable when he was eating Raisin Bran from a box last year. Wasn't acceptable today. I'm disappointed in Jim that Jim Harbaugh could not read what he had before he decided to bring him back.
You agree with that, Mario?
I just think it's funny that you're in a box when you're in an indoor stadium. Like, it's not like, raining, snowing.
You're afraid
it's a
you're
beautiful
going to get
day.
swamped by people asking for autographs? Okay.
Yeah. That part just makes me giggle. I was like, okay.
Don't you think a guy like Joey Bosa, who everybody claims is really knowledgeable, can be on the field helping somebody?
Should be.
Telling Tooley what to do, watching the game, being a captain?
Quick counter. Maybe it's because of his hip. He can't stand for long periods of time. I'm spitballing. I'm really spitballing.
Dude, I'm gonna have a
I'm
heart
very
attack.
spitballing.
Dude, put him in one of those carts you drive around Vaughn's, the ones with the motorized carts.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like,
Bonds is a grocery
figure
store,
it out.
for in case you don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, Kroger. I don't know wherever you go shopping. Okay,
Shout out Kroger.
Alana Moore, $5. One day, I hope we will be able to talk our ish about how great the Chargers are. One day, we won't be a laughing stock. I'm here waiting.
That's why we're
waiting.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we're here. If you told me it's never going to happen, I would never watch another game. I'm here because there's hope. Right? I hope.
It's really 4 games in.
Yeah. Good God.
Could be the Bengals.
Well, was it Robert writes here on the side? In my opinion, the season's over.
No shot.
It's not over.
Yeah.
Why is it over? It's not over.
I think you could. I think it could be worse. It could be the Jets. They're in a bad spot.
Yeah, you could be the Browns.
Could be the Browns.
You could have Deshaun Watson as your quarterback.
Dude, you could have Nathaniel Hackett as your offensive coordinator. Do you want that?
Literally, you could be Cincinnati, where you're not going to pay anyone but your quarterback, and your team's about to fall the f apart in less than 2 months.
Yeah, maybe we should do a segment on the next show. Who has it worse than us? We just start listing the team.
I would do that segment. It'd be a fun segment. Who's got it better? Who's got it worse?
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Penning.
Oh, God dang it. I tell you what, you're absolutely right. Thank God I'm not a Jets fan. By the way, I think I called it on this show. Everyone getting hyped up about the Jets because it seemed like every media member is a Jets fan. Man, I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers and all the BS you guys have put yourselves through over the last year and a half already, and you still got to deal with him. Dude, good luck to you. Good luck. Watch them make the trade for Devontae Adams, and it's not going to make Aaron any better.
Yeah. Don't you say you love revenge movies? Is that your thing?
My whole life.
If Nathaniel Hackett was a star in a revenge movie, it would end in 5 minutes. He would have got killed.
Yes.
Yeah. He'd be like Sonny in The Godfather. When he tries to go as revenge and gets popped.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know, you got that crazy temper, Sonny, so make sure you keep it to yourself. Starts breaking the phone. I love that scene.
I don't know. It's frustrating. All right. Damn it. Is there anything else we want to get to on the sides here? Did I miss
Bama. Oh, I was going to say Bama.
No, that was a good part of my week was Alabama. Josh was there at the game. That was a good part of my week.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, cool. and my Dodgers clinched the NL West, and that's going to be the end of our season right
real quick story about because I was at the Alabama Georgia game last night. You know, Secret Service had to check everyone into the stadium. It took forever.
Is that right?
Dude, usually you just do regular security for the stadium, but since 45 was there last night, as people call him, Mario,
like as a NASCAR driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Secret Service had to check everybody into the stadium, so they made everybody go in an hour and a half early. It took forever. Yeah, and they actually. One more thing. They fun fact: they took down his whole box that he was in yesterday, and they put up bulletproof glass just for him. So it was the only box that had special glass in it.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they show him at the game?
Oh yeah, dude. People lost their minds.
Yeah, that's his crowd.
For sure.
Dude, all right, hold on. Who made the money off the hats, Josh? Was it Alabama or was it him on where it's a MAGA and the A was the Alabama A? Who made money off of that? Was that Alabama or was that him?
I didn't even see that. I don't know. I had to be Alabama, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Great,
so? By the way, great idea. Killer idea for him. I can't stand the guy, but the guy's got marketing genius on the side.
We have a super chat from John Solis, $5. Would you guys trade Bosa the 49ers for Jawan Jennings and a draft pick? And what do you guys think about Gentry, the Boise State running back? Or is that pronounced his name right? Ashton, I think it's Gentry.
Yeah, I think you're on it.
He's really good, dude. Then again, he plays the Mountain West, so it's hard to gauge a guy that plays in that conference. I would 100% take Jawan Jennings. He's really good. But right now the 49ers need him because they have so many injuries, so I don't think they would give him up. Yeah, good call, though. What do you guys think about Jennings or the Boise State running back?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I would. I'll make it real simple. I got a question for you. I don't think the Niners would even do it. So Christian McCaffrey comes back. What happens to Jordan Mason, who's on fire for the Niners right now? 24 carries, 123 yards, a touchdown today. He's had a great first few games. Would the Niners consider trading him to us? Because look, we all say J.K. Dobbins won't make it through 17 games. What happens to your running situation then if J.K.'s not able to go?
I don't think they're going to get rid of Jordan Mason because they say Christian McCaffrey's injury is actually really bad, and they've been downplaying how serious it is. So I think even when Christian McCaffrey comes back, they're going to need Mason because they don't know if he's reliable. I'm almost
JK first in every goddamn fantasy football league. I'm the worst fantasy football league player of all time because of this idiot.
Yeah, you are. J.K. Dobbins needs help. I would let Vidal get some carries. I'd let other guys get in there and try to get their shot at it because Edwards is just not carrying his weight. That's how I feel about him right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. With the Juwan Jennings thing, I just don't really see the Niners selling high on him. I don't see that. Even though they have – who is the rookie receiver they drafted? I'm blanking on his name.
For the 49ers?
Yeah, he got shot or stabbed.
Yeah.
Totally blanking on his name right now too. Oh my God. Pearsall, right?
Pearsall, yeah. I know he's supposed to be the next young talent, and like Shanahan, doesn't move quick with those guys, but I don't think they'll sell high with Jennings. And I don't think they want Bosa either. That's not someone they would really care about. Also, Dominic Rodgers, trade for Cole Kmet. Good luck getting him out of Chicago. Chicago doesn't let go of people that are from there, and they just re-signed him, so that wouldn't happen either.
Yep.
Maybe get Everett back. That'd be funny.
Or if they don't make a trade, let's say the Chargers do not make a trade, will it bother you?
Yeah. It's good. Two things are going to bother me. If they don't make a trade, it's going to bother me. And if they don't mix it up coming out of the bye week, it's going to bother me. If you don't have Vidal getting carries, you don't have Ladd McConkey getting more targets. I think Mario made a great point. Why are you spoon feeding QJ? Like, stop giving him the ball so much. Like, if he's not open, he's not open. Throw it to a guy like Ladd who can make catches even when he's not open, like in the back of the end zone today.
Read that super chat right there. That's funny.
Drew B. Drums 499 says Mahomes should be suspended a game for that hit on Rice. I agree.
I would love it.
Game. Yeah,
take him out.
Preferably against the Chargers in Kansas City later in the season.
That was good. I got news for you, Drew. We probably would have read that one anyway without the 499, but thank you very much. Appreciate that. That was good. All right, we'll get out of here. God dang it. We'll be back in 2 more days. Again, tempers will calm down a little bit, I think. Probably not. We'll go over. Remember, there's a Sunday night game going on right now, Buffalo, Baltimore. Give you an update, 0-0 in the first quarter right now as they're just starting off. There's 11 minutes remaining in the first. And then on Monday night, there are two Monday night football games. One's exciting, one shouldn't be exciting at all. And Mario, you got any betting advice on either one of those games?
Don't bet anything in the Dolphins game. And I already have a lot on Buffalo. So if you want to tail with me, go Buffalo. If you want to fade me, that's fine too. I'm on fire for college football right now. And take Seahawks to cover because I think they can against Detroit.
Okay, there you go. All right, we're going to be back live again 1:00 on Tuesday, and we'll talk more Charger football. We'll look at basically some of the news and notes that are going around the league. Also, we'll talk about what are the Chargers doing to change things up a little bit as well. But we appreciate everybody that, again, follows us on the post-game show. Thank you so much. Again, at Bolt Crew Pod is the Twitter handle. So please follow. Josh will make sure that everybody that'll follow everybody back and create that group right there. But at the same time, appreciate you guys following us. For Mario Heron, Josh Pele, I'm Dave Pele. We'll see you in 2 days.